content and want to support me further, because I think I need it now, visit the link in the description below and please consider becoming a patron. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to positively spin this.
I think Nephew Jack is the guy version of K cooking. Uncle Roger, hope I don't meet this guy in real life. He even making all white people
still the worst I've seen.
Now.
I am so tempted to get these same ingredients and show you what I would do, because I genuinely, minus that cream corn. That cream corn does not belong in there. But I feel like I could have actually made a half-decent stew with most of that product there and served it over rice or egg noodles or something, and it would have been okay. I'm so tempted, but I don't know. This is my first time reacting to this dude. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. This is the second Cooking with Jack video I've ever reacted to. This comes highly requested after that disaster of a stew. Football, finger food, shrimp, and fruit. Okay, I'm a little confused because I picked this video because I was under the impression this is the one where he eats raw chicken. That many of you had mentioned that in the comments of the last Cooking with Jack video, the Uncle Roger reacts to Cooking with Jack video I did. I don't see any mention of chicken, so now I'm a little confused.
We are cooking like fiends. That's right, we're going crazy in the kitchen on the Cooking with Jack show. One recipe after another. Guess what's coming soon?
I do see a chicken back there. I see the McCormick bag, so I'm pretty sure I got the right video. Just an observation, I didn't notice this in the last video. Is his kitchen in his laundry room, or is his laundry room in his kitchen?
Chilies, soups, and stews. So if you got anything special, anything unique, you got a turtle soup recipe?
Wait, what? Turtle soup? First of all, he brought up stew, and I'm having PTSD right now. I don't want any more stews from Jack. I do commend him on wanting to reduce food waste, but I'm not a fan of his stews.
Right now, though, we're doing a product review. It's called Bag and Season. Bag and season original
included. No MSG, no artificial flavors. Okay, original chicken. So this is very similar to shake and bake. That's what was popular when I was a kid. My mom never did shake and bake. But anyway, these are bag seasonings, and it's just a mixture of a bunch of seasonings. Maybe this one's more garlic focused. Maybe there's another one that's more like Italian herb focused, whatever it is, but it's just a bunch of seasonings. This probably contains a lot of salt. You'll know by looking at the ingredients label on the package. Just so you know, they are always labeled by the greatest quantity ingredient to the smallest quantity ingredient. So generally these seasonings are mostly salt. Then like you'll notice towards the end of the ingredients label that it's like a lot of food colorings or preservatives of names you can barely pronounce. But anyway, just a little fun fact about it.
Somebody asked if I would review it. It's from McCormick, who does lots of seasoning. So we're going to see if it's any good, and I'm going to put it side by side. So I'm going to do half a chicken in this, and then another half a chicken in my regular gourmet seasoning that I have, the best gourmet seasoning you'll ever taste, and we're going to see if there's a difference. I'm not looking to say mine's better than this. That's not why we're doing this. I'm just doing a lazy season with mine on chicken in a pan, and then using their bag and seasoning and seeing if it's moisture, if it has a good flavor.
Moisture.
I'll let you know if this is good.
I do that all the time in my videos where I'll say like it's more tastier or like it's more saltier, and every time I see that when I review the edits, it just drives me nuts.
Once again, we're not here to knock this. We're here to see if it's good. Oh, it looks like there's 2 pouches. Okay, you cut here.
Okay, I'm pretty sure one pouch is the bag.
Up front. See, there's 2 cuts. You cut that, and you cut this for the seasoning. Okay. All right, so let's open this up carefully.
I thought it was bag and season. Well, put the chicken in the bag and then the season. Okay, all right, whatever. No, not whatever. It's supposed to be, basically this is a rip-off of shake and bake. You put the protein into the bag, you pour the seasoning into the bag so you don't lose any seasoning. Kind of defeated the purpose, but all right, sure thing, Jack.
Get in there.
And you just got a plate dirty for no reason. You could have avoided cleaning one dish, you know? In the pro kitchen, that's a lot. You can save time. You save it, and you just wasted it. You never get that time back. Look at all that wasted seasoning.
In between the chicken, move that over. In between the chicken, I'm gonna put some celery in there.
Oh, are you cooking it in the bag?
Carrots.
Oh no.
There we go. Nice and tight.
Is that how you do it? Is that how shake and bake was too? Holy shit. I thought you like shake it up and then put it out on the tray because now this is gonna steam in the bag. I don't know if that's an oven grade bag, so it can be cooked in the bag, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to take it out. Again, I've never used these products before, so I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, but please don't tell me he's gonna cook it in the bag in the oven. I don't think oven, like bakeable bags are pure plastic like this. Like there's a layer of wax paper on. I'm so confused right now.
4 little holes, so I'm gonna snip 4 little holes.
You do cook it in the bag.
Yeah. We're gonna do the best gourmet seasoning you'll ever taste.
Damn, he is not shy. He's like, this is the best. That's a bold statement to say. Put in some onion, that'd be mirepoix right there, foundation of Western cooking.
If you're just doing the chicken in the bag recipe, 350 degrees for 30 minutes, 2.5 pounds of chicken that's seasoned with some vegetables. I'm gonna cook a little longer because I'm putting them side by side, so it's gonna take longer to cook.
Okay. Wow, it is getting cooked in the bag. All right, I can tell you right now that bag and season is gonna look like when it comes out of the oven. That bag is trapping all the moisture. And you would say, hey, Chef Brian, isn't that a good thing? Isn't moist protein a good thing? Yes, it is, but that skin is gonna be gross. And it's gonna be sitting in its own juices, which would be a good thing. Maybe if he did that and then seared it on the pan to get the skin crispy. But a product like that is designed for someone who needs to make dinner very quickly at home. But honestly, I think that's just a marketing ploy to sell a product, because honestly, you can just buy a jar of seasoning without the bag, dust your protein, whatever it is, and bake it in the oven on a tray, and that's it. And to me, you will have a far superior product, and it'll be a lot easier because you don't have to mess with the bag and all that. Granted, you're gonna have to clean the tray, but you're still gonna have to clean the tray even if it's in this bag. It's gonna come out of the oven, it's gonna look anemic as hell, and then his is gonna look better because it was out in the open on a tray in the oven. The moisture wasn't trapped, so it wasn't steamed. Not to say steaming is a bad cooking technique. It's just if you're going for that roast chicken flavor, you know, you have to leave it open in the oven so that the moisture can release as it's cooking, and then it concentrates the flavor, and you hopefully get a, you know, somewhat of a crispy skin.
You want to?
Okay. I mean, that looks a bit anemic. He said he was cooking at 300 something, so that's kind of expected to see that kind of color on it. If he went in harder or maybe finished it with the broiler, he would have gotten some color on it. But if you're feeding this to your children, if you're feeding this for your family, it's perfectly acceptable, totally fine. If you serve this to a food critic, you're gonna get torn apart. Or a chef.
So we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes.
Okay, he's letting it rest. Okay. Oof.
Gonna cut this open. Wow. Okay, I can tell you right now, I haven't even cut it open yet. There's steam coming out.
Yes, because it came out of the oven.
Though, is definitely smelling good.
I'm sure it smells good.
Take a look. I have to say, this looks more attractive than that.
Marginally.
So we will see in a few moments.
Marginally.
Okay, so
I can tell you right now, though, look at how plump. When you're cooking in the professional kitchen, there's always this debate. I see it all the time when I mention it on the videos. I see it mentioned all the time in the comments where I say, you know, when you're cooking a steak in the professional kitchen, you go by touch. And people are like, oh, I don't get that. You know, that doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. You know, that comes with experience. But another thing that comes with experience when you're doing is particularly, well, really any product, but particularly proteins, you have to pay attention to how the protein has changed during the cooking process. I know that sounds obvious, but what I'm talking about is like the little minute details. Look at how plump and fat this chicken is. When you cook a steak or you cook a beef patty or you cook a piece of chicken, the more you cook it, what happens? The more it shrinks down. This is still looking very similar to its original size, which tells me, and I already know this because you guys mentioned it in the comments, that this is still going to be very much pink inside and probably have bloody bones. Okay, now I do want to mention that to kill salmonella, you have to reach, let's just simplify it. It can get a little bit more complex, but basically you have to hit 165 degrees. It'll kill salmonella. If you have it at like 160 degrees and sustain it at that temperature for a certain period of time, that'll kill salmonella, so on and so forth. There's a threshold to that, but let's just say 165 degrees. If you cook a piece of chicken to exactly 165 degrees, it is actually still has a technology. We've become so accustomed
for us at
to nuking our chicken to death to remove any signs of pink, when in actuality, again, to kill off salmonella exactly 165 degrees, there will be a slight hue of pink on the flesh. Going back to this chicken, I can tell right now it's underdone just by how plump and fat it is. And yes, the McCormick bag and shake, I know I'm going on, but I just want to get this last point out. I know that McCormick bag and shake was in a bag, and that, you know, that trapped moisture, that's gonna cause it to be a little plumper looking than what was left out on a tray. But I can tell you right now, just from experience, that's not cooked enough. I'm sure many of you out there can as well, with the pink juice coming out of the leg. And if you look at the McCormick one, the leg bone, it's very much still very pink over there. And that's because that is an opening where blood and marrow can come out, and it's still very raw.
Oh, you can see the juice gushing right out. Let's pull the skin back and show you.
Yep, underdone.
See how moist that is? The juice is running, right?
I agree, it's juicy, but it still needs to cook a little more. Like I said, cooking to exactly 165 degrees will have a slight pink hue, but this is still like way underdone.
Got a piece of that right off.
You could not serve that at a restaurant. They will send it right back to you, and the customer will freak the f out. That's definitely better. Way better. You know, as I mentioned, being in a bag, trapping the moisture, it's going to keep the moisture in the protein. Eventually, if you keep cooking it, it will start to shrink down. My point exactly is shown right here, but I still think it's underdone.
Look how juicy it is. Look at the pool. Oh, look at that. That's great. This did a great job. That's a lot of juice.
Oh my God.
Didn't cook well right there, so I'm not going to eat that. See how that is? That's when you cut in and you test your meat. Shouldn't be red like that. This is okay to try though, so I'm going to try this piece here.
Oh boy. All right. I hate punching down on people, and I'm trying really hard not to right now. That is terrible poultry cookery, and for him to say that that is good or delicious or perfect is way off the mark. Now, I will say this, there are places that eat, like in Japan in particular, I know for fact, and I've seen it at culinary school at the CIA, Culinary Institute of America, not the Central Intelligence Agency. There was some Japanese chefs that came by that breed their own chickens, and they did a demonstration of chicken sashimi, chicken tartare, and stuff like that. And these are all chickens that they breed and raise themselves in very specific conditions so that you don't have an issue with salmonella. It's pretty like widely known. I did not go to that particular demonstration, but you heard all about it all over school. So I know it is possible to eat raw chicken products, okay? But it has to be raised a very specific way. I mean, listen, many of you eat sunny side up eggs. Many of you eat mayonnaise, which use raw eggs. So every time you eat that stuff, you are opening yourself up to potential salmonella poisoning, okay? So it's not as common as you think it is. I think people just freak the f out about it, because if you do get it, you do get very sick. But that is not good poultry cookery whatsoever. Like, I don't have anything redeeming to say about it. Sorry, Jack.
If there's a spot of red in your chicken, when you cut into it, literally 1 minute in the microwave, poof, just pops it right out. It'll cook it the rest of the way. It won't dry it out. That's a good tip. I promise you it'll work. And don't panic. It's not a big deal.
That's
okay?
true. Or you can just cook it right the first time.
Let's try this one first. I'm going to try the McCormick one, which is...
Oh, sorry.
Here we go.
How many times has he done this, eating raw chicken on camera? Yeah, that is going to be moist. Yeah, I'm sure with the seasoning, it's going to taste fine, but...
Moist.
It's undercooked, man.
Very good. Very good. All right, I'm going to try the celery real quick. Perfect.
Steamed with seasoning. I'm sure it's not going to be bad.
Okay, now I'm going to try mine. Mine has a big puddle. It's not dripping, A lot of moisture though still, but I think the McCormick bag held a lot of that moisture in. That's really cool.
Yeah, it did, because it was steaming it.
Just as good.
I am 99% sure the McCormick came out better than his. You just can't say it on camera. Look at how pink that is.
Don't know why.
That is so
And the carrot outside the bag?
undone. I'm telling you, the part right between the leg bone and the thigh bone meat, I'm telling you that has got to be super raw.
Last test. I'm gonna take a piece of the skin because that's where most of the flavoring is. You don't like the skin, take it off, and then season your meat so you get into the meat.
Okay. Oh, fat and seasoning's always gonna taste good, but that texture is gonna be gross. Okay, it's steamed chicken skin with some spice on it. No. Oh, it's so gross.
All right, that's good.
It's time for Aunt Myrna's recipe.
Last week we did Aunt Myrna's recipe with the coleslaw. Amazing.
It's Cool Whip in this.
Party cheese
and
salad.
Jell-O.
When I saw her make this in Alabama, I was like, "Eesh, I'm not sure about some of these ingredients." But
Yeah.
then I tasted it, and it's like a dessert. It's really cool.
Aunt Myrna's cheese salad. It's like a dessert. It has Cool Whip and Jell-O and crushed pineapple. My mom made some Jell-O salad when I was really young. I remember it was like 3rd or 4th grade. She must have seen it on some television show or like a recipe in the back of the Inquirer, which is in the States, a terrible tabloid magazine. Yeah, it had all in it, and I refused to touch it. I was like, don't mess with Jell-O. Why are you messing with Jell-O? The only thing you should be adding to Jell-O other than what's in the box is alcohol. Then I'm okay with that. Otherwise, don't touch Jell-O. No cheese, no whipped cream, no nuts, no marshmallows, no pineapple. Just leave it alone.
We're gonna cook all this on the stove, then we're gonna pour it in this glass dish, which I've never used in my whole life. I think my mom gave me this, but I'm gonna have a chance to use this, and then we're gonna chill it. So it's gonna be awesome. Okay. Let's get started right now.
Okay.
Wait till you see this.
Oh boy. Shredded cheese, pecans, however you want to say it. Crushed pineapple, bell pepper, celery, cream cheese, diced pimentos, Jell-O. Dude. Oh.
Ingredients together had it not been for Aunt Myrna. You got cream cheese.
I've stopped this video like 5 times within the first minute.
Toast, Cool Whip, crushed nuts.
Okay.
Any kind that you like. I'm using
Just buy whole nuts and chop it up yourself.
lemon, or you can use lime Jell-O.
Okay.
Celery, bell pepper, pineapple, and American cheese.
First off, celery, particularly the bell pepper, the crushed pineapple, and the cheese, and something lemony, that's going to be delicious there. You know, if I can make a banging salad, not with Jell-O, but with fresh lemon juice, with just those ingredients. But the Cool Whip and the Jell-O, and that's just, yeah, this is just throwing me off.
Crazy.
Yes, it is.
Let's go to the stove right now and get this thing started. Take your crushed pineapples and pour it in the pan.
Okay. All right. Warming up the crushed pineapple. Sure. You know, I like roasted pineapple. I have pineapple juice in my bulgogi recipe, and that gets roasted off or seared on a pan. Okay.
Get your Jell-O mix. You're going to do 1 large Jell-O, lemon or lime, or you're going to do 2 small packets. I grabbed a large one.
Okay. I mean, that right there makes sense to me. Okay. Even though I don't like it in my Jell-O, but okay.
Just going to mix it up right now.
All right. Mixing it up. Stop right there. That's good. That's enough. You don't have to do anything further.
The wooden spoon. All right, so
Just
we're gonna
stop
get this all
now.
mixed up.
I will be okay with this right here. Just stop here.
Once the Jell-O is dissolved, you're gonna add. I chopped up the cream cheese. You're gonna add all your cream cheese in there, and you're going to mix that until it totally mixes in, totally melts down.
Oh. What is that? I don't even like flavored cream cheese, so to see this is pretty wretched. Listen, I'm not trying to pick on Jack in particular, okay? I hate bullies. I was bullied my entire adolescent life. I'm not into bullies. I'm not looking to bully this dude, all right? I'm just observing this as a culinary professional. And listen, if you're a grown adult and, you know, you can't take some, you know, you don't have thick enough of a skin to take a little bit of, you know, sarcastic, dry humor and or, you know, a little talk, then that's on you. But that's gross. That's it. That's gross.
Cream cheese pretty much melted down.
Oh.
You can see the chunks of pineapple in there.
Holy shit.
We're about ready to add the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna add the chopped celery, bell peppers, pimento, the nuts. We're gonna mix that in. I can't even begin to explain to you how amazing tasting this was.
How amazing tasting that is? What is that? I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say right now.
It looks horrible, but I'm telling you, Aunt Myrna never has failed me yet. All right, here's a crucial ingredient. Your whipped cream.
It's really all going in. Oh boy. Oh man. Oh man, my heart. My blood pressure. As far as a pro chef critique on this recipe, don't do it. He is correct on adding the whipped cream at the very end without the heat going on. Adding the whipped cream at the end will aerate it, soften it up, and if you have the heat too high, it'll kill that aeration. Moving on with this abomination. And that pan is too small. Please don't let it spill over. You're gonna have a hard time mixing that in. Actually, no, spill it over. Just spill it all over the floor. Just throw it out.
And I don't recommend using, it's the Cool Whip. I don't recommend using imitation or fat-free or sugar-free because they have a different reaction. You want the regular, real Cool Whip or real whipped cream. If you don't have Cool Whip, just use real whipped cream.
Who is the person who created this recipe and was like, I am making something banging tonight. Wait till you try this. And as they're putting this together, they were just like, wait till they taste this. What am I watching right now?
Pour it in the dish carefully. Mix it around so the pineapple is all throughout the. Just make sure all your ingredients are all.
Why did you guys recommend this to me? Oh my God.
Smell. Wow, the lemon and the pineapple are just busting out. And crazy enough, the last step, you're gonna sprinkle on some cheese on top.
This is a cheese salad? You are calling this a salad? Where's the leafy greens? Where's the vinaigrette? Where's the... Oh.
Use American cheese.
I think I have a migraine right now.
It's not gonna have the same flavor effect. Now I'm gonna chill this overnight. And then we're gonna take a look at it in the morning. It's gonna be solid. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, well I realized I didn't have to wait overnight, and the family wants to try this out. So we've only been chilling this for about 4 hours, but as you can tell, it's completely solid and cold. And it looks beautiful. It's
gonna solidify. Oh my God, I'm a little lightheaded right now. I've not really interjected much culinary professional tips or anything because there's nothing redeeming about this. I'm sorry, buddy. I am sorry. I will try everything once. If Jack put this in front of me, I will try it once. I will give it a fair shot. I promise you that. I may have to start a second channel just recreating Jack's recipes. This is, I'm very curious to taste that. Not because I want to, but for the sake of science. That's gonna solidify faster because of the whipped cream and the cheese. Those are, you know, very stable items that solidify when they get cold. So not only is the gelatin going to solidify, but so will those products. So that's why it's solidified so quickly. I'm really digging to the bottom of the barrel, trying to find something culinary wise to talk about.
Look how awesome that looks.
Awesome? How awesome. You made me lose. Everyone saw my bald head. Not that I give a really, but.
Let's serve up a little section here and try it out. And you just cut it almost like a dessert. And you just scoop it out. Look at, can you see it? Can you see that? Beautiful. Place it on a plate. Come on.
Come on. Talking to it like it's alive, like it's a pet.
Pudding effect.
I gotta see him eat it.
I'm gonna give that a try. Look at how beautiful that looks. Wow. So good. I know it. Of course, I don't know if mine came out as good, so here's to delicious tasting.
He's saying, but look at his eyes. He can't be enjoying this right now.
It blows my mind that it's so sweet and dessert-like and has all those vegetables in it. And American cheese on top. It is really... I can't explain this to you guys. It's sweet and it's crunchy and it's got a custard feel to it on your tongue. Cool. All right, I'm gonna chow on this, give some to the family.
Give some to your family? I would pay to see his family eat this food. I mean, they're probably not alive because they've been poisoned by that McCormick chicken. All right, that's it. I can't watch anymore. I'm not even gonna watch the bloopers.
Got a little bit of golden brown around it.
Golden brown? It has a golden brown spot the size of a quarter. Not even, that's like a dime.
Nice crisp exterior. We're doing a wet buttermilk brine, then we're gonna do a dry buttermilk brine. This is an experiment. That's what I love about this show. If I got some inkling to try something, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna let you know which one's better.
Let's talk about brines really quick. For me, as far as brines go and their application to food processing, really it's the application of salt. So whether it's a wet brine and you apply the salt to whatever product you're doing, meat or vegetables, it's going to be done in a water solution. And if it's a dry brine, essentially it's a rub. It's another way of saying a rub. You generally want the rub and or the wet brine to the wet brine or the dry brine to sit overnight, generally around 12 hours. The bigger the product, like an 18-pound turkey, you may want to go a little longer. Don't really want to exceed like 48 to 72 hours, then it will start to manipulate and change the texture of the food in a way that I don't think is really that good. But yeah, for me, it's mainly about the salt. When people say they're brining in buttermilk, I don't necessarily agree with that. You know, I think that's more of a marination. But again, the point of a brine is to impart salt into a food product. Let's see what Jack does. I've reacted to a few of his videos at this point. This was a highly requested video. I haven't been very impressed whatsoever. And I have a feeling I'm not really going to be impressed in this. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to start a drinking game in this video as well. I don't know, if we make the word brine, I think that may kill some of you, so let's not do that.
Right now our chicken is getting to room temperature.
If you're gonna brine something overnight, you don't need to take the food product to room temperature. There's no need, because it has to sit refrigerated overnight anyway. And also that can be a health hazard. But right before cooking, if you let it come down to room temperature, that I agree with to an extent, especially if you're doing it at home. The professional kitchen, you don't really have time or the space to do that, nor do I recommend it for the purposes of DOH and all that stuff. But if you're doing it at home and you leave it out for an hour or two to come to room temp, fine. Yeah, there's no need to bring the product to room temp for the brining process.
I don't know if I need both these buttermilks. I may only need one, but I'll show you how we're seasoning it. We're gonna season, the same dry seasonings are going in the dry buttermilk mix. We're going to rub it onto the chicken, set it overnight, let it do it like a dry brine, okay? But this one, the chicken's soaking in buttermilk. We're gonna be doing a wet brine, all right? I'm not following a recipe. I just pulled out a bunch of ingredients that I want to put my buttermilk.
I mean, with a brine, you do want to go with a recipe of some form or a baseline. Generally, rule of thumb for a brine is about 1 to 2 tablespoons of salt per pound. So for a 1 pound piece of chicken, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Depends how salty you want the product. For dry brine, essentially, I don't go with that same ratio. It's just evenly coated all around. Everyone's a little different of how heavy or how light, but generally, if you have it evenly coated all around the product, that's going to be how much you want to make. Every time I do a rub or a dry brine, I always end up having excess, but I use it for for another time, which is the good thing about a dry brine. You can make a bunch of it, put it into a container, and use it as needed.
I don't think I'm going to need 2 of these. I think we just need 1 of these. So we're going to season this buttermilk, right? And I'll get you the recipe down below.
I thought you just said you don't have a recipe. Okay.
All right, we're going to do pepper.
All right, black pepper.
And you can go heavy because it's going to be a brine, so it's not going to be whatever sticks to the bird, whatever doesn't.
Kind of. I mean, when you brine something, it's very hard to explain, but when you add spices and flavorings and aromatics into a brine, not necessarily buttermilk, but a water-based brine with salt and a little bit of sugar and maybe cinnamon stick and black peppercorns and stuff, the flavor is almost like a blanketing effect versus a dry brine where I feel like the spices come through a lot more direct and a bit more, has a lot more impact. Both are great. Both give you different results. A wet brine, not only does it impart salt, which intensifies the flavor, but it also imparts moisture because your product is literally soaking in water. With a dry brine, it's not as moist, but if it's something with the skin is really nice with the dry brine. Skin tends to be a bit more tender, like easier to bite into. You're not really fighting it as much. And again, the flavors are a lot more intense. I don't necessarily agree with that in a wet brine. The only flavor that's going to get imparted is the spice that sticks onto the protein. When it sits overnight, all the flavors and aromatics, especially in something like buttermilk, which really takes on flavor very well, and aromas, that's going to get imparted into the whole of the protein.
Here's the salt.
Okay, salt. Yep, standard.
There we go. Here's the oregano.
Okay.
Put some herbs in here too. Oh, that smells good already. I'm hungry. And I just had my 10 a.m. shake. It's the morning time right now that I'm filming. This is basil.
Okay, basil. Sure.
Now this is a seasoning we picked up at Sam's Club, and it is a cilantro lime seasoning. You can go to Sam's and look for it.
Speaking of looking for things, if you don't mind, look for that thumbs up button. Hit it. It's a little thing for you, but it does a lot for me, and I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed.
I'm thinking we need this. Not sure why. So we will put cilantro lime seasoning in here. There we go. Put a lot in.
Sure.
The heavier, the better.
Okay,
Okay, this is exactly what it looks like. Red pepper flakes.
Okay.
Gotta have some heat. Love the heat.
I know from the comments you guys told me that this guy had a stroke, which is why he's using only one arm.
Michael.
It's kind of sad.
What is one thing you don't
my
like about
grandfather actually passed away from a stroke, and my mother had a stroke, which she managed to fully recover from, which was a miracle, honestly. So, yeah, I feel for this dude. I mean, I've heard some not so flattering things about this guy, aside from his cooking, but I don't wish that upon my enemy,
Now it's time to...
Yeah, to me, that's a marinade.
Get in there.
That's a buttermilk marinade. I've seen recipes online where they say, buttermilk brine. Again, to me, this is a marinade. Doesn't mean it's bad. Let me make that very clear. Buttermilk, marinades, brines, whatever you want to call it. There's many ways to call the same thing. Buttermilk is awesome, okay, when it comes to poultry cookery.
Flip this chicken halfway through your brining. So it's marinated all night long.
Okay, overnight.
Just want to be honest with you.
I mean, he said it himself. It's been marinating all night long. Listen, if you're soaking in buttermilk, to me, that's a marinade. Yeah, that simple. Take a shot. just for the sake of taking a shot. So you can see that is a silicone mat. Those are awesome. Silpats are freaking great. What's concerning me is that I don't see a roasting rack or a metal grate that'll elevate whatever product you're cooking so that the hot air can also penetrate on the underside. Especially with the chicken, that's pretty essential. For me, the main reason why that's so essential is because when the chicken sits directly onto the pan, it's gonna trap moisture and you're gonna have that gross, anemic, soft skin that I don't enjoy whatsoever. Also, I'm a little concerned he's gonna be roasting this. Not to say that you can't roast, you know, a product, a food product that's been marinating in buttermilk or, you know, something like yogurt, like a tandoori chicken or something like that. Can be absolutely delicious. But, you know, something like a tandoori chicken, usually the chicken pieces are cut into chunks and then they're put into a tandoori oven at a very high heat and it's cooked very fast. A whole chicken like this being buttermilk soaked and then roasted like that, I've never done it. I'm sure people have done it before, but I don't think it's gonna come out to a very nice product whatsoever. The buttermilk is, you know, kind of chunky, not necessarily chunky, but it's thick and it's gonna kind of sit on the chicken inconsistently. So you're gonna have some spots that caramelize and some spots that don't. Whereas something like a wet brine, you pull it out of the liquid, you pat it dry, you can be pretty sure it'll cook consistently all around, which is why I think for the most part, when you marinate in buttermilk, deep frying it is a great way to go about it because the buttermilk not only does it tenderize and impart flavor, but it's a great tool to attach your breading to the chicken.
Oh, that's the
neck.
The neck?
He never removed the neck.
Oh no, we'll just put that right there.
He doesn't know? Weren't you the one that put it into the marinade? Like, can you imagine taking that whole thing, dunking it into a bunch of seasoned flour and frying that whole thing? I mean, it would be a little tricky. You'd have to really control your temperature, maybe flash fry it and then finish it in the oven after you get it to the color that you want. But if he cut that up into pieces, put it into seasoned flour and fried it, that would be great right there. Honestly, I think he would have had a great dish. But this is Cooking with Jack, so you should take another shot. You know what? Let me know in the comments below if for a future episode you want me to join you taking these shots. You know, I'm not going to do it with vodka or hard liquor, but maybe with a beer. You know, we'll do something like you know, similar to a power hour where I just take a sip every time I say take a shot.
Okay, we're gonna roast this in the convection at 350.
Okay. You're just gonna leave it on the pan like that? Not gonna truss it? You're not gonna, I don't know. The roasting, and he's also got it breast side down, which is really terrible cookery. If you're not gonna have a roasting rack, at the very least have it on the backside because there isn't much protein on the backside. That's the spine, right? This is the main gripe I have with Jack. You know, he's had a channel for a long time, but he hasn't seemed to have improved at all. You know, I mean, I've only reacted to, this will be the 4th video of his. I did a reaction of Uncle Roger reacting to him, but yeah, it's just, you know, from what I'm seeing in the thumbnails, and I watched a few minutes of a couple other episodes here and there just to kind of scope it out a little, I don't see any improvement. And to me, that's such a shame, but also like shame on you, dude. You do something so publicly, but you've been doing it for so long and there isn't an improvement in your skill set. That's a waste, honestly. You know, just make the effort. I don't know when this video was filmed, but yeah. Ugh. He's gonna roast that in the convection oven at 350 degrees. It is coated in this buttermilk. Nothing wrong with that. To me, 350 degrees is not going to be enough to get good color on this, especially the fact that it's coated in buttermilk, which has a lot of moisture, which is going to take a longer time to get the caramelization because there's so much moisture. The water content has to cook out first before the Maillard reaction can start. Unless he's leaving it in there for a significantly long time, which is also not good because then you're going to start to dry out the chicken. Yeah, this is not looking good, man. And he's got it breast side down and the wings are just sticking up. I mean, this chicken is like, you know, belly side down and just arms out. Those wings are going to be dry as hell because, again, he didn't trust this chicken. Such a waste of chicken.
but this has been in a wet brine of buttermilk.
Marinade.
Buttermilk and spices.
Take a shot.
I showed you already what the spices were.
And I didn't even pick a word. I'm just going to randomly say it, and you guys got to take a shot, okay?
350 for approximately 50 minutes to an hour. Usually takes about an hour to cook chicken, so.
An hour. You guys have brought up this video many times. I already know that this chicken is going to be super undercooked, but this guy just does not know what he is doing. And he's putting out cooking videos. Okay, I can tell you right now, an hour is not going to be enough time. Not even close, number one. Number two, you should do your research a little bit more. You know, in my scenario, I don't do any research for any of these reaction videos because I've been doing this for 2 decades. I will say, however, I have said things incorrectly, but generally I'm within the ballpark and, you know, I'm close, right? But I've been doing it for 2 decades, nearly 2 decades professionally, day in and day out. Dude, you are putting out these cooking videos and you couldn't just put in a little bit more effort. You know, you're clearly not a professional. So Nigel, for example, I hung out with him a couple times when he was stateside. And, you know, he told me he does a lot of research and work before he films his Uncle Roger videos. And you know what? He's not a professional, so he's doing his homework. And that's what leads me to respect him, you know, aside from his hilarious ass comments. But
1 hour later.
Oh my God. Oh my God. At the edges of that pool of buttermilk, you can see that it has caramelized there. Why? Because the moisture content had cooked out, and when the moisture content cooks out, the Maillard reaction can begin, and it gets a deep brown color. But the chicken itself has a lot of moisture, right? So that's gonna prevent the skin from browning. The buttermilk is all moisture, pretty much, right? And also, I can just tell from the plumpness of this chicken that it is not cooked enough. Aside from checking with a thermometer and temperature, you know, another way is, and feel as well, another way to check for doneness or an indicator of doneness. You know, I wouldn't use my visuals to figure out how done something is. I would use a combination of all these 3 things. But another indicator is visually how shrunken and how firm does it look. And you can clearly tell, like, it's still pink on the bottom side. You know what I mean? Like, if it's pink on the outside right now, how freaking pink is it gonna be on the inside, particular, you know, by the hip joint, by where the breast and the thigh meets, inside the bone? That looks terrible. That is literally one of the worst chickens I've ever seen in my career. Take like 3 shots.
Got a little bit of golden brown around it.
Golden brown? It has a golden brown spot the size of a quarter. Not even, that's like a dime.
Nice crisp exterior. It feels
Did he say, did he say crispy? Is he delusional?
nice crisp exterior.
He said, he actually said it was crispy. He's touching it and he said it's crispy. This man is, YouTube recently changed their algorithm so you can't curse as much, but this guy is f***ing delusional.
It feels moist. Feels good.
It's definitely moist because it's still raw. It's still alive. I can already tell before he cuts into it.
We're gonna give this try in a minute. Let it cool. Let it rest. Remember to always let your meat rest.
Oh, now you want to go with the culinary terms.
This did a great job.
What? Dude. What? You did a good job? I shouldn't expect something, you know, expect much more from a guy who's making Aunt Myrna's, what was it, the cheese salad and the McCormick bag chicken. Oh God. Oh, maybe that's why he said it looked crispy. Goodness gracious.
So you got a little color going here.
Oh.
All across you got kind of a little bit of a golden brown. Some of the buttermilk kind of burned around the perimeter.
Yeah, you
doesn't
think?
really matter.
You think?
It's all gonna wash right off with this chicken.
Wash? Don't tell me you're gonna wash this chicken. If you wash this chicken.
So this is a wet rub. Let me just cut off.
God, now he's calling it a wet rub. I know he meant to say wet brine, okay? But not even he has his... Don't please don't, guys, take a shot, because please don't tell me you're gonna hack this chicken on the sill pad. Please tell me you're going to remove the chicken from the expensive silicone sill pads and then cut on the cutting board.
Give it a taste.
No. Oh my God.
There we go.
Oh, God. There's still 1:20 left of this video. I don't know if I can take it, guys. I know you guys, like, I disagree with you guys about putting a metal utensil
Offline
onto
game
a
mode
nonstick pan.
activated.
However, it depends what kind of nonstick pan, especially these days. But I am firmly against putting a knife onto a sill pad, onto a silicone mat. I think he's just being lazy. At the bare minimum, remove the it'll look better. Your already terrible chicken will at least look a little better presentation-wise by removing it from that sill pad coated in all that buttermilk and at least cut it on the cutting board.
We're gonna try it out, see how the flavor is.
You can see how pink and red it is from look at how far the camera is, and you can see how underdone it is. He really does have an iron stomach. My God.
Then we're gonna compare the flavor to the dry rub. And I'm using dry rub of the powdered buttermilk.
Now he's calling it dry rub rather than a brine.
Here we go.
Remember in the Aunt Myrna's cheese salad video when he took that one bite and I was just like, this guy's clearly full of... Listen, the seasonings he put in there, the buttermilk and all that stuff, it's going to be good flavor, okay? No doubt in my mind about that. His execution is awful, terrible, 0 out of 10. -10 out of 10. But oh my God, look at the bone that he's holding, the chicken leg bone. You can see how red it is. I mean, this guy's calling it crispy and browned and just like, I would have respected him more if he made this video and was like, I can't put this out, which I've done before, okay? Where I filmed a whole video and I'm like, I can't put this out because I know I can do it better and I learned too much on the spot. Right? That can work well in a video as well, but he's just delusional, man. He's not even smiling. He's just like, yeah, damn, this is kind of but for this, I don't want to waste this footage or time.
It's interesting. There's kind of a creaminess to it.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain. Kind of a sweetness from the buttermilk that's inside the chicken.
I wouldn't really say sweetness from buttermilk particularly, but okay.
It almost tastes like a Thanksgiving turkey, even though it's a small little chicken, right? But it's got all those spices that it took in overnight and did a great drop. Can't even talk. Let's try it again. Did a great job and is really good.
Holy crap. Oh my God. That was bad. Guys, this is just as bad as you had all described it. Different pot going into what's now a cold pot, and then the shredded cheese, which is at best room temperature.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's not making sense.
It's like wiping your ass and then taking a shit.
My name's Ed Cotton. I'm the chef and partner at Jack and Charlie's down in the West Village in Manhattan, and I'm excited to be here.
We're gonna do something special. My son's classroom is doing, tomorrow they're gonna be doing a International Day. So everybody has to cook a dish from their heritage and bring it to school tomorrow. So I figured, hey, why not? I wanted to do a video on how to make a lazy man's lasagna.
Lazy man's lasagna. Have you ever heard of this before?
I actually have.
You have?
I think I've made it.
What? Really? No way.
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean? What does a lazy man's lasagna mean?
So, lazy man lasagna, we took like rigatoni and just kind of used all the usual suspects when making a lasagna and just kind of just tossed it all together. And I think I was a teenager when we made this. There's a lot of lazy man things